You're listening to Across the Pondcast. Cybersecurity rants and war stories from both sides of the Atlantic.
Hello and welcome to Across the Pondcast, a show where we talk and occasionally rant about cybersecurity topics with perspectives from both sides of the Atlantic. I'm Tib3rius. I'm joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Mr. Andy Swift. And today we're joined by Alphabet Soup, a self-described data/privacy/security nerd. And Soup is here with us today to talk about privacy. Soup, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Andy, how are you doing?
Really good, really good. I've had a good few days. I came back from another
racing.
I did more racing. I came back. I didn't put the car in a hedge again, which is good. So that's nice.
Did you put it in a ditch instead?
No, I avoided all the barriers this time.
It's good work.
It's very good.
Good.
It's like the minimum requirement, really, isn't it?
For driving, yeah.
Avoid obstacles and complete race successfully without hitting stuff.
Where did you come?
Third, I think, in my class. Third.
That's pretty good.
Yes.
Well, hang on. I should say, out of how many cars?
Right, Soup. Nice to meet you.
How many people were racing, Swift?
In total, 144, but it's done by class, so there's only 5 in our class. So, yeah.
3 out of 5.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
No,
That's
and the
good.
other 2 guys had 40 extra horsepower, so they can...
Well, there you go. You practically won.
And they are very, very, very good. They've been doing it for about, 15 years, or it's insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. Soup likes cars, too. Spoken about cars.
I do,
Soup.
yeah. We have, yeah. I have a Z4 at the moment, which is my pride and joy. I've had it for a few years now. It's an absolute money pit. It leaks a lot of oil, but it's still very fun to drive.
Oh, it's just marking its territory as it goes along. That's what it's doing.
Yeah.
Does it have a name? Have you named it?
No, I get asked that quite often. I haven't actually named it.
Weird, isn't it? Got to name a car. I've got a thing about naming stuff.
She's a privacy nerd. She'd never give a name to a car.
Or if she has, she wouldn't disclose it.
Exactly. There you go.
Car.
Have you named your car?
Yeah.
What's your car?
It's called Alice.
Okay.
Alice. Yeah. It's nice, isn't it?
Why is it a girl car?
It just is. She just looked like looked like an Alice. To be fair, I had it in my head ever since I was a kid, but I would get a Caterham 7 and I would call it Alice. And this has been in my head since I was about 11 years old. Ever since my dad took me around a car showroom. So it just sort of, felt like I had to keep to my promise. And yeah, there we are.
You're living your dream.
I am living
That's pretty cool.
absolute dream. Trying to, yes. Failing miserably sometimes, but yes, most of the time. Most of the time, good. You also go out for weird drives, don't you? Just drives for the sake of driving. And I think this is a lost art. Not that I'm trying to turn this into a driving podcast, but I like just going for a drive. No one goes for a drive anymore, just like clear headspace or just for the sake of...
It's a form of therapy almost. Especially, I quite like late night drives out in the country when there's not really anyone around. It's roads that I've known for 10, 15 years driving on. So to me, it's like a form of therapy. You can just drive. And I once drove all the way up to the Lake District and back just to mull over a very intense problem I was working on at the time, because it was just like that space to just be think about it. I went out to Lake District, spent 24 hours in the Lake District and came back and I was like, okay, I know what to do now.
I mean, to be fair, without context of where you started, that doesn't make any
in the
sense.
south. Down in the southwestern place. So,
that's quite so for people who are in America, which is I think most of our listeners, that's quite a drive. Although to be honest, not by American standards.
No.
But it's still like a 2 to 3 hour drive to get there. Or is
it
it
took
more
me
like
about 6.5, 7 hours in total, but I didn't stop off on the way. Yeah. It's a very old. Right.
Very down south then.
It's quite scenic. Yeah. Yeah. It's scenic. The Lake District is beautiful. If people who haven't visited the UK before are thinking of visiting the UK, the Lake District is definitely somewhere I would put on your list of places to explore, because it's just beautiful. It's untouched. It's one of the few places that's normal. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, without an
Nice.
obsession for building on every inch of it as well. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's a lovely area.
Well, I do think more people don't just go for drives now because the cost of fuel
There is also that.
Yeah.
is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is like £1.52 a litre here at the moment, which is kind of insane, really.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it's depressing
Yeah.
when I think about it. And that. So there, now we've
I
gone
don't
from
know
a nice
how much
high.
that is anymore.
You don't know how
All I
much.
know is the other day I paid $3.75 for a gallon. And I think a gallon is 3.6 liters, a US gallon.
Yeah.
It's something, yeah. I mean, it's way cheaper in America.
Yeah.
But
You don't tax the crap out of
everyone
it.
here still complains about the price of gas. Every time they do, I'm like, oh, you're so lucky you're not in Europe right now.
Oh, I have some suggestions for your country that might soothe that problem. But this is not a political podcast, so we won't get into that
No,
right now.
this is a car podcast.
You're right, yes.
Driving across the pond cast.
We should do that. We should do a road trip. It's a podcast on tour. Yeah, we'll go through the hills. We'll go to the Lake District. Oh, and maybe we'll go over to America as well, back and forth.
We should put a lot of cameras and mics in the car and then just record episodes as we drive.
We should do. It's definitely
That
not
actually
been.
might be a funny series.
It's definitely not been done
It's like
before. Can't.
No.
not in a cyber context. That would be kind of
No. Not cybersecurity. We could drive around finding different cybersecurity personalities in different cities that we could meet up with.
Like finding them, like
Yeah. We're just going to turn up.
hunting them down. We got
knock on a
some
few doors.
OPSEC fail. We found you.
Have you seen Tib3rius?
Oh, man.
Scavenger hunt. But no, we should do that. That's a great idea. Thank you, Soup. Perfect.
welcome.
If you'd like to see Across the Podcast on tour, we'll start like a GoFundMe page or something.
It would be good.
Oh my God.
We haven't done
I
the
like it.
sponsors yet, have we? Haven't done the sponsors.
We haven't.
Right, do your thing. Right, and we'll just sit.
It's fine.
We'll sit back here and just watch you do the sponsor thing. On you go.
Before we start, the show is made possible thanks to our sponsors. If you want to sponsor an episode, please send an email to sponsors@acrossthepodcast.net for more details. So, Soup. I think we have to talk about your series of articles on Medium, which is basically you're reading the privacy policies of different apps and websites, so we don't have to, and then telling us all the bad stuff.
It's almost like that's the title.
Well, yeah. How did that series start? What sort of first, like, how that idea sort of start forming in your head?
It's been in my head for years, but I've never had the time to do it, really. And then some months ago, I was graced with the ability to kind of go, okay, I'm just going to do that. So I started doing it. People that I know in real life, most of them they're not technical, they're not computer fit, like they live in different worlds. And when I sort of said, oh, I'm thinking about doing this thing, everyone was like, nobody's going to read that. But actually, it's gone down really well and the feedback's been really good. And I kind of realized through a lot of the research that I did back in academia that you have to break it down for people and make it really simple to understand if you want them to understand kind of complex topics or subjects or information. So it was like, okay, people aren't going to sit and read the policies, but there's a lot of information in there that's really useful, either from a personal privacy perspective or from a researching perspective as well. I speak with quite a lot of offensive security nerds who find it interesting as well, because it kind of outlines which technologies or services or systems people are kind of using. So yeah, it's applicable in lots of different ways, but it's probably a bit crazy, but I'm committed now and I'm just going to keep going with it. So yeah.
Until you've reviewed literally every company in the world.
In my head, it was like, okay, pick the go with the ones that are most popular or most used or most accessed and work your way backwards. So that's where I'm starting. But also picking ones that are kind of interesting to me as well. So I don't use most of the products that I've covered myself so far. So it's interesting having that justification at the same time of going, there's a reason why you didn't want to use this. So it's, it's interesting. And off of it comes quite a few rabbit holes as well. So like the Duolingo one, there's two arms to their business almost. They have the friendly little app that helps you learn languages, which is the more common side and popular known. And then there's the whole side of it where they offer English testing for universities, education institutions, some businesses as well as part of their thing. And with that, they want you to download a piece of software. But when you read what this software does, it's applicable in its use case because they're trying to make sure that nobody is cheating on the English test because it's credible. But at the same time, it's essentially a form of kind of spyware. So it's like that, then you're like, okay, well, what else does that software do? Because they don't advise people, from what I could see, to remove that from their laptops or whatever after they've done the test. So it's like, there's stuff like that. And then it's, okay, now I want to understand binary analysis. So there's lots of different pathways that can come off of just spending an afternoon sitting and reading privacy policies. And you do a lot of Googling of stuff as you go, because I don't know everything. And I'm always coming across new technologies or new tools and things that say, okay, what does that do? How does that work? Who's that owned by? Like, how does it feed into this ecosystem of data collection which is going on? So it's interesting to me, at least.
It's interesting to me as well. I quite like it. It's I love those rabbit holes you do go down. Those 4 a.m. rabbit holes. That's what we're calling them now.
It keeps it interesting. I think as long as you're genuinely kind of looking into stuff that's interesting to you, there's a benefit to it, whether it's like advancing your own understanding or being able to then take that information and kind of break it down for other people so that they can understand it. There's lots of ways you can work through it, I guess.
You've done some quite big companies in here. Apple, Flock, Proton, Twitter, Adobe, Google, BBC.
I'm not afraid.
LinkedIn. There's loads. There's millions. There's more than I thought there was.
I was going to say, it's kind of funny that when you first started, people were telling you, oh, nobody's going to read that because nobody reads the privacy policies anyway. Like, what? I mean, do you think just most people in general just don't care about privacy?
I think a lot of people care to a certain degree about privacy, but they accept that there's almost like a trade-off for using a lot of products or services, especially the free ones. There's that saying that, if it's free, you are the product. And that kind of, I think we can all agree that's pretty true. I think people do care. I think there's also a huge amount of money on the table for a lot of people. So it's like that is always going to take priority over privacy rights of individuals, at least in the current world. That's where we're at, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I always used to find that people in security, like cybersecurity, go to one of two ways. They either go down like they have tinfoil hats on and they bury themselves in, privacy is everything and I don't want to disclose anything. Or they go to the other extreme, which is, fuck it. I can't do anything about this. It's just, you get to that stage where if you care so much about it, you end up isolating your entire life, and that becomes very difficult to manage. If you go down every rabbit hole and try and think about privacy every step of the way, it becomes an impossible situation to manage across the board.
Yeah.
But people go one of two ways.
I'm kind of in the middle. There's some stuff that I don't like. I don't use LinkedIn. I don't use Facebook. I don't use Instagram, Snapchat, like none of those. Not necessarily because of the data collection, but I found over time it didn't really offer me any actual legitimate value. And it's, if you're going to spend any amount of time kind of scrolling or engaging, it's, to me at least, got to have some kind of like tangible value back. And I didn't find that from any of those products. Like LinkedIn to me now is just, it's a spam house. Like it's not even people you're communicating with. So much of it is automated on the outreach side that it's, and it reached a point where it's like, I'm just going to get rid of it. And I've not had any of those accounts now for probably 8-9 months. And it's had zero negative impact. If anything, the time that I would have spent scrolling Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, I've put into doing actual kind of stuff that does have value. So I think a lot of these products are very good at convincing you that you need them, but actually they need you. When you look at how much a lot of them make as a proportion of their revenue that's advertising revenue, they need you, So there's a lot of good marketing that goes on that kind of implies value, but when you actually try and measure it, it's very, very difficult to measure.
So I came off Instagram and Facebook for kind of the same reasons. I just sort of dumped them one day, and I can't. The same thing. I don't think it's massively improved my life. Like, oh, look at all the amazing things I can now do. But I definitely spend less time on the toilet. Read it about what you will.
Thanks, Swift.
I love that I put these things out here on the internet for all to find.
The people want honesty.
Yes, they want to know about my toiletry habits. But outside of that, I don't feel it's had any. I don't feel like I've lost anything in between. And I also think we're from that kind of that generation now where we've used it so much from its sort of inception, but we're now got to that stage where it's like, actually, it's really boring. There's nothing entertaining on here at all.
It's changed so much as a product. All of them have. Like when you think, I can remember when Instagram came out, and Instagram, same with Facebook, it was connecting with people that you actually kind of knew in some way or whatever. And then over time, it's like you don't see any of the posts from people you actually know or people that you actually follow. It's all just, I don't even know what, but how they operate as products has changed so drastically. Yeah. I think especially our generation, we used it to stay in touch with people that we knew or to kind of arrange stuff. And it doesn't have the same purpose now. It's all like, and the way people consume content has changed so much. Like even just in the last 10 years, it's gone from people wanting almost in-depth stuff to people now wanting like in-depth stuff, but condensed to 30 seconds. And it's like, I don't know. A big credit to you guys for like producing content, because I don't have a clue how people do that, to be honest.
Neither do I.
But you do it pretty good. You do it good.
He does a lot more. You do your little TikTok things, don't you?
Well, I haven't done that in a while, but I mean, I think there's still some people who like the in-depth stuff. I do think podcasts sit in this weird area though, because I feel like because you have the audio aspect of the podcast, like even though this obviously has a YouTube channel, like most people listen to it on, I think, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And I think for many people anyway that I'm aware of, podcasts are like what they listen to in their cars when they're doing long drives. And you obviously can't watch something while you're driving. Well, you shouldn't. So I think podcasts kind of have that like exception to the rule, I guess, because there is audio only aspect and people still need something to listen to when they're in a car, and that sort of works.
I'm addicted to podcasts. I listen to so many. I'm just a visual person. Like remote work a lot nowadays, so it's like if I have anything other than just audio, it's a distraction for me. Whereas like podcasts, you can dip in and out, go back, re-listen to it, or I always have Spotify. There's always something playing in the background for me, and a wide spectrum of stuff, not just cybersecurity stuff, but there's so many. There's something for everybody. Like So,
I think it's kind of interesting that you don't like LinkedIn, and like I don't like LinkedIn. So, in the sense of I don't like what its original purpose was, which was networking and finding jobs. I think that part of it isn't that good anymore. But I think, honestly, you do pretty well on LinkedIn just because you could share your articles there and you'd probably get quite a bit of an audience. But that's just me. I've had a lot of success just sharing random thoughts and occasionally longer posts on LinkedIn. So I know like, a lot of it is bots. Yeah, absolutely. But I think you will find quite a bit of an audience. But that aside, LinkedIn for networking, job searching, I don't think is that good anymore.
It used to be. I spent a stint working in compliance in the tech recruitment space, and LinkedIn was a very powerful tool for them on both kind of the resourcing and the business outreach side. So there's definitely uses for it. but it's changed. Like anything, it's morphed to sort of try and adapt to cover all of these different markets, and in a sense has kind of like lost its original kind of mission in that. So it's interesting to observe like how different companies kind of do things in the pursuit for that infinite growth like model. For sure.
I had a client the other day that got I say the other day, it's months old now, so I can't talk about it, but they got compromised via LinkedIn. That's quite funny. It's quite genius. So the company that I was working for had they put this advert up on LinkedIn, a job advert. The idea is you get CVs coming through, but they had some software their end that was automatically downloading all of the PDF files and opening them. And what someone had done is he just laced them with malware. So his system was just basically collecting malware and just randomly opening it and detonating it as they got an application through this job advert. It was great. Very funny from my point of view. If you don't laugh in this,
people are getting quite creative.
They are. It wasn't so much the technicality of it; it's just creativity. I liked that. But yes, slight tangent.
I had somebody try and send me a document before I deleted my LinkedIn profile, like a pitching brochure through LinkedIn. And I replied saying, I don't open documents through LinkedIn because I've read about the malware campaigns through LinkedIn previously. And he replied, he was like, I have never been told that before.
Slightly offended.
Yeah, he seemed it. Yeah, but oh well.
So to try and I'll steer this back onto privacy a little bit, just give it a nudge that way. Because we've talked about cars, we've talked about parts of the UK to come and visit. Been down a few little rabbit holes already. Out of all of these companies you've looked at so far, do you have a particular one that stands out in your mind where you've read their policies and you think, oh my God, that is awful? Is there like one standout one that sort of sits above the rest as the gold standard for terrible policy making?
The Flow one, which I published, I think, a few days ago, that one's kind of a little bit scary in the sense that there can be repercussions off of that data for women. If that data is to come into kind of the wrong hands, depending on which state you're in the US, there's a lot of kind of contention around different stuff to do with women's health. So there's that as a woman reading that stuff, you kind of go, okay, that's a concern. That was probably the most. The TikTok one is pretty bad because their target market is that kind of teen area. So it's a huge amount of data collection on a very kind of like youngish market. That said, I also know a worryingly large number of like fully grown adults that are in their kind of like 40s, 50s that get sucked into scrolling through TikTok. I find that like you can sit and just watch them and be like, wow. Let's research and observe this. This is interesting. So that's always quite interesting. Same with Snapchat. They're more kind of targeted at much younger market, which you look at some of the stuff on the list and it's a bit like Adobe collecting health data was a little bit kind of, that was something that stood out to me in their one, because you kind of go, it's software for creatives primarily, right? So why do they need to be collecting health data? But then you look at who their kind of like sharing partners are and you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense. It's just feeding into the data machine. So it's kind of, which one is the worst? Flock is bad, right? The research I did into Flock was, I found their business model to be both like impressive, but also extremely terrifying because the way that they're set up is that they own the hardware. They own the footage collected through the hardware, but the clients pay for the hardware to be installed and have essentially 30 days to download any stuff on a license agreement to use under the hardware. So you sort of start there going, wow. It's kind of, there's a lot of privacy concerns for people around how that data is being used. The integrations that Flock offer, I found quite intimidating. So like Flock itself, from what they say in the policies, they don't, I see a lot of posts online about warnings about Flock and they do this and AI that. And as a standalone like product, as the service that Flock offer, they don't have that embedded. It's like the integration. So they don't have the AI capability, but one of their sub-processors does, and you can pay to have access to that on top of the basic thing. So it's like there's loads of layers to it in that sense. It's hard. Like, which one is the worst? They're all kind of bad in their own way.
They're all awful.
Yeah.
And they're probably all sub-processing each other in some way, shape, or form, I imagine. So, like, one of your, I think it's your Anthropic article. Yeah, your Anthropic article. See, I think you listed in that one, but a number of the sub-processors included in that, and the list was just, it's like every other major tech firm in the world.
Yeah,
it's insane when you start digging into it.
When you read a lot of the policies of products that have AI attached to them as well, like if you're your average consumer, you might look at that and think that each of these products has their own model in it. But so many of them are basically just functioning on either Claude or ChatGPT or whatever the other, like, it's not as...
Yeah.
It's not as much of a, like, it's everywhere as you think. Most of it traces back to one of half a dozen companies, but then they're all kind of data sharing between themselves as well. Well, I think as well, once you read enough, and this is something quite a few people have messaged me about recently, sort of saying, okay, I've read a few, I can start seeing the patterns now of what is almost the baseline of what's collected. So you can almost start to understand that using any product is going to come with a baseline minimum. They're going to be collecting information about your device, your operating system, silly things like your battery level and all that kind. That's all pretty standard. I think if you read like one policy on its own, you'd be like, oh my God, that's so much. But then once you start realizing that that's just almost the baseline just for that app to supposedly be able to run, it kind of changes, I think, the way you look at using a lot of stuff as well, because you're like, okay, well, why does 50 app companies need to know what's on my device, what apps I'm running, when I last opened them in exchange for me using their free service? And I don't know, it makes you ponder like what's actually worth it and what's not. I've done a couple, I think, on Proton, tried to pick something that was more kind of privacy focused. And like even in that, you can see they still collect a baseline of kind of what I would consider like technical data, which isn't necessarily identified, but if you have enough of it, that's when you can start spotting patterns in how consumers operate. And that's where the money is, really. It's that mass data and the stories that tells.
Big data.
Yeah. Those guys.
Big Data Corp.
Yeah.
I might be completely wrong about this, but like I think if you look back 15, 20 years ago, a lot of the stuff they put in privacy policies was like more like, oh, this, we may collect this, like incidental kind of stuff. Any kind of request that's sent is going to have a user agent which may disclose stuff about what browser you're using. So it's like, well, technically that's now in our access logs on our server. That should probably be in the privacy. And I think a lot of companies just built off of that, and they were like, well, these are all the incidental stuff. And then it's like everyone just copied and pasted privacy policies, and then it sort of just grew out of that. So there's obviously most companies are collecting stuff now, but I think for a lot of, for some of them at least, I think it's maybe they're collecting less than they say, and it's just literally a bunch of stuff in there is completely incidental. They're not, but I mean, that's to say, they're still bad.
I'd like to think
because,
so.
Yeah. It's still bad because that just means they've basically just copied and pasted a privacy policy and built off of it. And now you've given them permission by accepting it that they can collect that. So
I wonder sometimes.
You always see some kind of funny stuff in the terms and conditions as well. Like the Flow app, like its whole existence is to track your female health periods, ovulation, that kind of stuff. And there's a clause in the terms and conditions like you agree to never use this app for tracking your period or ovulation or pregnancy. And it's like that's the whole purpose of the app, and you're saying not to use it for that. Like it's just just like that's always funny.
Reminds me of I'm going to bring this back to cars again. But when I was racing the other day, I was looking down because you have to wear these huge fireproof suits, which is horrible in the heat waves that we're in at the moment over here. Just sitting in these massive fireproof suits, just sweating your eyeballs and melting. But I was like, I just looked at the label. I was just, I don't know, bored. So I just read the label on the inside of the suit that's meant to protect you from fire and stuff. And literally in there is the wording, this suit is a safety device. It may not guarantee protection from fire, or we accept no liability for any kind of safety-related incident. It's like, yeah, but you're the safety device. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it's a bit like in the US, the slogan that a lot of police departments use is protect and serve. And then there's been court cases where it's been determined by the courts that actually the police don't have to protect you. They don't. They, that and it's kind of, it feels absurd. It's mostly like you don't have like a mandatory expectation that they will run in and gun down someone. They may stand back. They may. There's always two sides to it. But yeah, it's kind of that weird thing where it's like, but we're hiring you to protect us, right? And they're like, yes. So you're going to protect us, right? No. or maybe. Certainly the cops occasionally do protect people. But yeah, it's like one of those weird things. And it's probably because like they get sued a lot. Like I'm not being necessarily anti-cop or pro-cop in this podcast. But yeah, it's a lot of times it's because they'll get sued, and it's and when you get sued, you need to protect people going forwards from lawsuits, and so I think it just gets chaotic, especially when there's any kind of legal aspect.
I think a chunk of it is legal protection and arse covering, essentially, isn't it? Because you make an app for something, and it's probably a more sensible idea just to say, well, yeah, the app you've installed may have access to record, extract, recover, log this data, just everything. Yeah. Because there might be a case one day where you have to have some legals in place to cover you against that scenario. Now, your app might not actually gather any of that data whatsoever, but having the disclaimers in there is important, isn't it, right, from a legal perspective? Yeah. Or someone would have come along and just, as you said, copy-paste.
Yeah, especially as more people are like using AI to vibe code products, because it doesn't always think about things in the same way. So if you are actively vibe coding a product, it's not a bad idea to kind of cover all of those bases, because you're probably going to be more liable when somebody finds your app.
Yeah. So if you're vibe coding, get a good legal team. That's the advice.
The T app is a good example of that.
The legal team is Anthropic. It's Claude.
They also have a disclaimer in their terms of service that you won't use it for healthcare advice, medical advice, legal advice, like all of that. They say not to use it for that.
It doesn't stop people, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, and all of the AI chat apps still have that line at the bottom, which is like, this information may be incorrect. And yeah, they have to, and that's both, I think, a warning to people using it, but it's more of a legal thing. It's more so you can't take them to court and be like, but you told me I could put cyanide in my coffee. It is. It's literally protecting them against getting sued.
You're absolutely right. Thanks.
So what was, I want to get back to the privacy policy reviews, because you've said, and I'm reading a quote here, it takes a lot of margaritas to retain sanity when reviewing this many policies and EULAs. So can you walk us through like what reading one of these actually looks like? Like, how long does it take for a Google? How long does it take to just read Google's privacy policy?
Google took me a few days to read Google's. Google, Apple, Facebook, they were by far the biggest. Apple was in over 1,000 pages, and that wasn't including the software agreement side. That was just the kind of privacy and term side of things. A lot of the other ones, 1 day, 2 days. My process is I'll kind of read everything through, take some notes as I'm going, and then kind of like, you need to mull it over for a day or two and actually think a little bit as well. Like, how do I even present this information? I tried to stick with a kind of like format, but sometimes you're like, how do I even take all of this to make it legible? So then kind of just mull it over and then type it up and release it into the world. And see what happens.
I think that's why people don't read the privacy policies, because if you sat down and went through them, it would take you literal days, and you just want to crack on with using whatever it is you've bought, purchased, downloaded, whatever.
Also, like the way they structure them is, I feel, intentionally misleading. So a lot of them will have on the bottom of most websites or apps, in the bottom banner or footer, it will say, terms of service, privacy policy. You click on that and it will take you to like a summary policy, but within that will be 50 links to other documents within the legal team, within the security. So it's to actually find all of that information. And a lot of the time you're having to look across 10, 12 plus different places. And a lot of them could do a lot better on being a little bit more transparent, or just making it a little bit easier for people to understand what's going on without having to go all legal analysis on it. Because it's just like your average person doesn't have time to do that.
Don't you think that's kind of the point? That's why they don't do it. Because they don't want, ultimately, they don't want people reading their privacy policies. A lot of these big companies.
That's kind of why it's fun to do it.
Yeah. No, I imagine. It's like, why are they trying to sneak past us?
Yeah. I'm not afraid of these big companies. Their policies don't scare me. I'm quite happy to sit and read through them all.
I'm just waiting for the SWAT team to burst through Soup's door in the background. They just go, "You've read the policies, bagger."
If I suddenly disappear, you'll know why. It's because they've had enough. I think I tweeted once as a joke. I was like, "I'll start reading privacy policies for 10 million."
Did you get any hits from that?
Yeah.
Any offers?
No.
Oh, damn it.
No, not yet.
No, wait till you expose something huge, though. then they'll come for you.
I'm wondering, so obviously, I mean, reading these policies is a huge amount of work, and this isn't to downplay anything you do, but have you attempted giving these policies to some kind of LLM and seeing like how good it does compared to you?
I have, and I found a lot of the time they would miss things because of that drawing it from different sources things. So they'll take one document and would pull most of the information, but it would be formatted in such a way that it was almost harder for your brain to digest it because it presented it not very clearly. I don't really use AI very much. I every time I've tested it, it's disappointed me in its accuracy, or you'll check the sources and the links don't exist. Or I did an experiment with looking at doing like a legal analysis, and it was telling me case law that didn't exist and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't believe it. And I tend to just do it myself because I know I'm not going to make up things that don't exist and then throw it into a professional context.
I love the way it's so confident when it makes shit up as well. That's my favorite bit. Yeah. It's like, the case of Simpson versus Gray back in 1995. And you're like, doesn't exist. Yeah, but it is very convincing. It has, an outline of the case. It'll give you dates. It'll name people, and then you'll do another search to look for something to do with that, and there's nothing. And it's like, it's just I do follow some of the stuff that's going through the courts, and you do see an increasing number of cases where you've even got like actual legal professionals using it to write or support their legal documents, and it's filling your case law, and then the judges are realizing, and it's like, guys, you can't do this. This is you must always fact check. It's not to be relied upon as a reliable source, because it's like it reminds me of, and if you tell it, you'll be like, what you've said is incorrect. It's like, no, it's not. And it's, yes, it is. You have just lied. And it reminds me of if you have a small child and they've visibly just eaten like all of the cake or sweets, and you're there going, have you just eaten the sweets? And it goes, no, with cake all around its mouth. That is AI to me when you're trying to kind of say, hey, you've not done something properly. It's just, no, nothing did it. I'm not a fan of AI. Not a fan.
I'm a fan, but I totally get that. Like I've encountered that a lot. I think and you sort of when the more you use AI, I think the more used to like not used to the misinformation, but you sort of learn how to read between the lines almost.
Yeah.
And sort of and it's like you can't just ask a regular question to AI anymore. You have to sort of ask it in a specific way that you know is going to trigger something in like the model to recheck itself and make sure the information is at least as accurate as it can be. But yeah, I mean, it is a problem that is going to exist, I think, forever with LLMs. I'm almost certain like multiple AI researchers have called it an unsolvable problem. It's just how LLMs work. They will inevitably hallucinate data. But yeah, I mean, it's with any kind of new technology, I guess. It has its benefits and then it has its absolute downsides. Yeah.
There's almost like a fun irony in the way that like all of the models are trained on data which is effectively being scraped off the internet, but so much of what's on the internet is incorrect.
Yes.
So I think that's where a lot of its confidence comes from. It's like, but this is in our data set. We have it as a valid source or something, but it might not necessarily be a valid source to start with. So it's kind of fun.
Or it's
yeah,
because it has access to so much data. Some of it is just historic as well, not applicable. So I was doing I've been messing around a lot with Google Chrome recently for various reasons. And I was asking it about a particular function. It was so confident this function existed. And I was like, okay, great. When was it last included in Google Chrome's code base? 8 years ago. Hasn't been used since. I was like, okay, great. So I can't use that function, can I? It's like, no, you're absolutely right. You can't. I was like, well, thank you. We just spent the last half an hour just going through this, getting my hopes up and everything. And cheers. Cheers, ChatGPT. Oh, no, Claude. It was Claude that time around. Evil. So.
Great.
So, robots.
Yeah.
I've been dying to talk about airport robots and cleaning robots in particular. And if only there was someone in the room that noticed this particular problem.
Is it?
all right. Wait for like another guest to come in.
But for the context of people who aren't watching the YouTube, Soup just turned around.
I always forget that as well. I have to like put the audio only audience.
We have to explain the visual gags for the Spotify and Apple podcast listeners.
I am turning around now.
Yeah, F4 robots. Tell it. Well, I mean, Andy, introduce this.
Right. So I got very excited by this because I think Soup messaged me. She's like, I think I've done an article you might like. I was like, cleaning robots. Yes, this is right up my street. And it was. I loved it, and it's all about. I let Soup tell the story in more detail because it's her story. But it was all about robot cleaners inside airports and unleashing these kind of army of cleaning robots just around our airports in secure locations and things, and just asking the questions about the. Yeah, I'll let her take it away because I don't want to like just tell everyone the entire story, but it intrigued me mainly from this sort of process point of view of who owns what, who's outsourcing what to who, and when you trace the chain back, it's someone's outsourcing essentially a cleaning job. It's just a crazy chain, and yeah, God, take it away, Sue. Take it away. Tell us about cleaning robot Hoover things.
Well, I just got back from a very short trip over into Europe. And I wave for the taxi and I'm sat there and I look up and this robot cleaner goes by. And I was like, okay. And you look into it. So this one in particular, I'm just going to fact check myself because I can't always remember the exact details off my head. So it's a Singapore-based company. The one that I was observing appeared, because they were throughout the airport. It wasn't just in, it's in a secure area. You dig a little bit deeper, they've got SIM cards installed with them. They're mapping out the areas that they're operating within. They've got cameras on them, lots of kind of different things. And it was interesting to think about that in a way. That was something quite funny. So the operation manual, they spelled operation incorrectly, which is always a fun sign when they can't get the spelling correct on the front cover of their own instruction manual. So that was interesting. It was interesting more so, as you touched on, the way in which there's this huge focus on security in airports. People are scrutinized, whether it's the staff who are working there, people who are passing through deliveries, that kind of thing, and certainly passengers. And then you've got these kind of like cleaners that are robots that are just moving around through the secure zone pretty kind of freely. And then the data off of that. We poked at it a little bit. There's some areas that could improve the security, and we've contacted them about that to try and encourage them to maybe change some of their ways of thinking about things, to have that more security perspective in mind. So the airport that I traveled through, you look into it, and all of the, like you said, all of the cleaning is completely outsourced. It's not ran by the airport or the management company that runs it, and then you've got the cleaning company have now outsourced this robot in replacement of some of the human cleaners. But I don't think necessarily that the cleaning company is thinking about the security in the same way that perhaps the border security or the police or the airport security are thinking about. So it was just an interesting thought exercise, because if you were of the threat actor mentality, you could probably have a little bit of fun with those, whether it was kind of using it potentially for a little bit of recon or having a set of eyes in somewhere that is potentially quite a sensitive area anyway. There's a few ways you could maybe exploit that. And it was just interesting the way that the different departments aren't necessarily thinking together about the same solutions. So it was interesting. It would be fun to play with it with a flipper. Are we allowed to say that? Maybe not. But no, we shouldn't play with it with anything.
No, definitely not. No, that would be bad.
I think legally you can say it would be fun to play with it with a flipper, because that's sort of a conditional.
It's not an intent.
Yeah. You'd probably be in more trouble.
It would be fun to rob a bank and get away with it. It is an objectively true statement. Like.
Whereas I'm going to rob a bank next Sunday.
Yes.
Now you might get into
now you've said it, Swift. Now,
Well, joke's on you, because I don't have any banks anywhere near my house.
Oh, no. And you don't have any cars?
No, or public... No car. We haven't talked about cars. Wouldn't fit much money in mine anyway.
I don't think I've ever seen a cleaning robot at an airport. I've seen... So there's a sushi place relatively near my house, which has a robot that delivers drinks.
That's pretty cool.
Which is quite, so you obviously have the sushi going by in the bowls, and then you have like a screen you can order drinks, and the drinks just come on this robot which has like a smile on it. It's like a computer screen, and it's adorable. And then you also, so we were wandering through Chicago a few months ago. I live in Chicago. So we were wandering through the place I live a few months ago, and there was a delivery robot driving along the street. It does like food deliveries. You have that. That might be something that happens in the UK. I'm not sure. Anyway, one of the people I was with,
personally.
Definitely not in my area, because we just have basically farmers around here who would probably shoot it on sight. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. So there are delivery companies that deliver. I think they mostly deliver food, but it's like a robot on like 4 wheels, and it drives along, and then when it gets to the location, it'll like open, and you can open the box that it has and grab your stuff. And one of the people I was with sort of just grabbed it to stop it, like thinking, this will be funny to mess around with. And then when we walked off, I was like, you realize I had a sign on the back saying this is not autonomous, this is a human driven remote machine. So I was like, you just basically, he probably caused some guy who was like remote piloting this thing to be like, what's going on? Who is this person?
That would be kind of funny. Yeah. Just pick it up and take it to like the top floor of a building or something, and just lock it up there. Like, what are you going to do now?
Things like that's when Amazon started saying they were going to do drone deliveries. There were a bunch of people saying, we're just going to capture the drones there. So it does, I mean, it has interesting sort of both privacy issues, but also the fact that I think people just mostly just mess with these things in public if they have the chance.
Yeah. I do have a little cleaning robot.
I mean, I have a robot vacuum.
It's
honestly rarely used.
I can see mine from here because it's got stuck under my desk 5 days ago, and I haven't moved it since.
Well, this is the problem. This is the problem I have with any of the robot vacuum cleaners. Is in order to use them, you need to clean. You need to pick everything up off the floor, and then you need to turn all the lights on. And it's like at that point, I've wandered around the house. Like I might as well just grab my stick vacuum and just go around and do that. So by the time I've set up the entire apartment for the robot vacuum, it's like I could have just been pushing a vacuum cleaner this entire time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
To my office here, there's like, you might be able to see it now. There's a little step here, like from this door here that comes in. For those listening, you can just imagine there's a door with a little ledge. It's about 2 centimeters high because it goes from like a hard floor to a carpeted floor in this older part of the building. And long story short, no matter how many barriers you put in front of it, and like in the little app, you go, don't go here because you will fall off and you will get stuck and you will die. And it just, no matter how many times you do that, jumps off the edge and it just chucks itself into the room like, I must clean this room. And it falls off into the room and this is why it's under my desk now, because it's got stuck in the room I told it not to go into. So as a bit of revenge, I'm just like, you can stay there then. You can just stay there. That'll teach you. And then when you've run out of battery, I'll take you back and you can learn your lesson.
I don't know whether computers understand in that way.
No. But it makes me feel better when I'm treating it like this.
Even if it was an LLM, you'd be like, you went into this room. It's like, yeah, I told you not to go into this room. You're absolutely right.
So don't do it again.
You did tell me, and I didn't listen. And then I'll just do it again.
I'll have my revenge. It will have its revenge. You watch. I'll be walking around an airport one day and just like an army of like Hoover cleaner bots will just come after me and escort me off the premises. So how you treat
You can't go in this gate. You can't go in this gate.
Why? Because you treated one of my family wrong one day. Like, it's gonna happen. I like that. I like this whole kind of attack vector, and it does open up so many interesting questions about who's responsible for what when you start tracing the train up. Because, and you see this all the time across the whole cybersecurity industry, is when something new and shiny comes along, implementation and engineering and building comes first, security comes probably about 20th in the line of stuff at some point in time. So you can bet your bottom dollar someone's gone, oh, cleaning robot. I know, we can hook that up to the Wi-Fi at the airport. And then I imagine, and I hope it's like a secure, segregated Wi-Fi that's not near any of the sort of airport critical stuff going on. But you can bet someone will probably screw that up one day, can't you, at some airport somewhere?
Yeah. I look forward to the write-up about it because I would be interested to see how it could be applied. Yeah.
I look forward to it. What about cleaning robots? I'm going to be on the lookout for cleaning robots now, wherever I go.
All right.
Soup, anything else you want to talk about in particular?
Not really. I'm pretty happy. It's been fun chatting with you guys, actually. I don't often do a lot of calls, so it's nice to actually kind of like see faces. So everything's so often over typing and behind like alias names and stuff like that. So it's nice to put faces to those.
It is right. It is. Nice. I like that aspect of it. And this is a fairly chatty podcast. Definitely. We have no structure to it. It just happens. Stuff just happens.
Well, we kind of do, but
it's a few notes. Yeah. Talk to Soup.
All right, I'll do the outro
then. Yeah. Thanks, by the way, Soup, for saying we were so much better than Zach to be on. Yeah, that's genuinely from the heart. That means a lot. Yeah.
No.
Thank you guys for having me. It's been really fun chatting with you guys.
Thank you, Soup. Thank you for coming on.
Soup, yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Please tell our listeners where to find and follow you online.
I am on Twitter under Alphabet Soup, also on Medium under the same name, and Substack on the same name, and that's it. I don't do any other interneting as that. So yeah, come say hi.
Yeah, we'll put all those links in the podcast description. Thank you for listening. I've been Tiberius, he's been Andy Swift, we've been joined by Alphabet Soup, and this has been Across the Pondcast. You can find all of our social media links in the episode description or on acrossthepondcast.net, and we will see you next time.
That pause gets bigger, but we'll see you next time.
I did it just for you.
On the road trip version of Across the Podcast.
Vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom.